Welcome to Explain America. I'm your host, Kyle Becker. Well, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz has been in the news a lot lately. Of course, there was the church tragedy in Minneapolis, which saw 2 children lose their lives, and also 18 others got injured by a deranged madman who attacked people while they were praying, of all things. Well, Governor Tim Walz, he is under investigation in his state because of how absolutely out of control some of the things are that have been going on there. But before we get into that, please like, share, and comment Explain America. Join us. We appreciate your support for common sense journalism. Now, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, he has had to answer questions this week over why a gunman who goes by the name Robin Westman opened fire on innocent people who were just trying to pray at Mass at a Annunciation Catholic school. It is absolutely monstrous what happened there. And Minnesota Governor Tim Walz is well aware of the political optics and has attempted to say the right things, including thanking President Trump for calling him and offering help and support. And of course, the FBI is investigating this. But another thing that they are investigating is the governor's office there because of all of the corruption that has gone on in the state. We mentioned recently there was a Feeding Our Family scandal where Ilhan Omar and one of her underlings got pinched in a multi-million-dollar scam. So recently the FBI raided a number of housing developments, and its acting U.S. Attorney Joe Thompson said Minnesota faces a serious fraud problem, a concern previously raised by his predecessor, Andrew Lugar. So one of the things that has been going on here are housing scams where 8 different housing developments were raided. And Governor Tim Walz, he's trying to make it like he is out on front on all of this. But there are questions about how he has allowed this corruption to really brew in his state. But the important takeaway here is that Governor Tim Walz appears to be acting to fight corruption because he's being pressured by President Donald Trump. You can bet that if this was President Kamala Harris, he wouldn't have any incentive to really do anything about the scandalous behavior of a lot of actors in his state because, frankly, it benefits the Democratic Party in a lot of ways. They kick back through federal grants that are given out to public unions, through NGOs. They keep kicking back to Democratic Party, and it's a giant racket. It's a type of criminal enterprise. And Governor Walz, well, I'm sure he's well aware of how bad that looks to a Department of Justice that's actually interested in justice for a change. So he is attempting to look like he's getting his act together. But he better hope that nothing turns up where his governor's office turned a blind eye to the obvious corruption that was going on in his state, because really it's beyond the pale. But before we leave, please like, share, and comment. We appreciate your support for common sense journalism.